Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today is more of a review video than a tutorial. Obviously you will see how I got this look, but it is reviewing the haul that I had recently placed on my Instagram, which includes the Revolution Pro Camouflage foundation, the pore reducing primer, and the Unicorn Elixir liquid highlight. So if you are interested in any of those products, I'm going to give my honest review, and this is my first time utilising each of these, so please enjoy. So starting off with the pore reducing primer, just going to put that on obviously first. I've already done the moisturiser on my face. It comes out, it's quite a runny consistency. It's actually really strangely runny. I've never had a primer come out like that. Kind of seems like it's got a little liquid settle. I don't know if you can actually see that on the camera. Not really. It's also very pink, so this is a bit strange texture for me, but we'll give it a try. So what it's meant to do is reduce pores. And okay, no word of a lie, like I'm literally watching it like erase the pores from my face. And it goes on really easily and really well. I need slightly more product than I had on my hands, but it's good. So really, first impressions, I thought the colour was strange. And I thought the texture was strange, but then as soon as I put it on my face, it's not really feeling too dissimilar to my YSL primer, which is really expensive. I've got the one that's got the little gold flakes in it. I think it's a Touche Éclat one. I'm not entirely sure. I can review that at a later point. But the finish is kind of the same on my skin. So it's not tacky. It's almost sort of like velvety, which is lovely. The foundation is the Revolution Pro full cover camouflage foundation, and it's in shade F2. I'm actually really pale and I would normally take a lighter shade, so I'm a bit nervous that this might be too dark for my skin, but we will find out. Okay, so you have two choices when you're putting on foundation, well three, because you can use something like a beauty blender or a foundation brush. Some people put on their foundation with their fingers. They say that it helps it because like skin to skin, so it's easier for blending. I personally would use a foundation brush and a beauty blender, or just a beauty blender straight onto the face. So I would just take the tube and I'm going to just apply that to the places that I think I'm going to need it. This is actually quite hard for me. Normally I get something that tells me like how much I need, and I've never used this product before, so I'm slightly concerned that I might over apply, but we'll see how this blends out. Okay, so I mean the cover is excellent. I do think that I could have used with less product. I can feel it a little bit on my face, and I do think it's because I over applied, so maybe measuring it out onto the sponge and dabbing from there would be easier. But it's not super heavy. Like, although I know there's too much and I can feel it a little bit, it's not like blatant. I would say it was an excellent coverage. I've had an issue with a bit of dry skin just here on my chin, which you would have seen before I applied the foundation, and it's like it's pretty much fully covered. You can see it a tiny little bit, but like I don't mind that. Like, I feel like the coverage is really nice. It's not sitting too thick. It doesn't say that it's a particularly matte foundation, and I would say that it doesn't feel like it's going to set matte, so at this point I'm going to put a powder on top. The next product though that I was going to use is the Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer, so I'm just going to use that just first. It is conceal and contour, and I'm just going to do it in the little areas to see if it can, you know, cover that without making it too cakey. Okay, so that was in the shade C2. I would say that it doesn't seem to be too cakey, but I can't actually say that I think it made a huge extra difference on top of the foundation. So it's probably an unnecessary step. I would also say that even though it's the second shade, that I found it slightly lighter than the first shade, so than the foundation itself, which I don't feel should be the case, but it's something to be aware of when you're ordering anything, that maybe the concealer runs a slightly lighter than the foundation itself. Sometimes, because you don't know where you're going to get a blemish, right? So if you've got something like here, you don't want it to be lighter because it's then going to fight with any contour, with any bronzing that you're doing. So it's just really not ideal. Those are the main three products that I got in my haul. I actually featured it on Instagram, so that's what I'm covering. The next products that I do have that I've not used yet is the liquid highlighter. The palette though that I'd got, the glitter pressed palette, and the cut crease was used in my rainbow eye tutorial, which is available already online. So if you want to see about those specific products, you can go and take a look at that video. I'm now going to apply some other products that I already have that are nothing to do with Revolution Pro. So I'm just going to speed that bit up so we can get to the highlight and I can give you my review on that. I'm going to take a quick sec to talk about the mascara that I just used, which is the Too Faced Damn Girl Mascara. This, to be honest with you, is my favourite mascara. This one's actually really dried out. I shouldn't even be using it anymore. I've had it for literally months. It's problematic that I still own it. But it's just incredible. I even think the effect, for a dried out mascara, look at how my lashes look in comparison to 10 seconds ago. Seriously, it's insane. The only issue that we have at the moment is that Too Faced is actually owned by the Estee Lauder company, which, as we recently learned, has been supporting through one of the owners the campaign for Donald Trump's presidency. Now, they have been trying to balance that lately and trying to match the donations made by I always forget everyone's name. I feel like it's Ronald Lauder. You can Google it. His name doesn't matter. The whole point is they're trying to match his donations into organisations that we would potentially support should you not be a Donald Trump supporter. Again, try not to be political, especially since I'm from the UK. But you can't help but choose what you stand for. And I think in this case, I stand for incredible lashes and I would love to find a dupe. So that's what I'm going to try and do, and if I find one I will definitely let you know. But as I've said before, if you support Donald Trump's campaign, go ahead, buy tons of these, they're phenomenal. And if you don't support his campaign, then please stay tuned for whatever dupe I manage to find that will allow you to spend your money and buy things that support things that you stand for. I hope that makes sense. I know I sound crazy, I ramble, I'm sorry. But yeah, so Next thing I'm going to do is the highlight. I used an H&M bronzing powder in Deep Tan. I used the No Filter powder in Ivory, and I used the Pantone Universe blush. It says the colour is 151717, but I think it actually just comes in one shade. I've never seen it in another colour. My mum bought me it because I like do fashion, and obviously we use Pantone colouring for styles and for clothes, so I think she just thought it was cute. The liquid highlighter that I am going to be using is called Unicorn Elixir. It is just liquid highlighter from Revolution, and it comes in this little dropper bottle. The first thing that I would say is when I was looking at it on the site, I did not see a blue tinge. If I had seen the blue tinge, I would not have bought it. I have the Moonchild palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It has a blue, it has a green, it has a purple, and I just don't really use them. I prefer the more sort of glam, like I do bolder colours on my eyelashes, so I'm already like a little disappointed by the colour as it's portrayed on the website. So this is why you always try and look up swatches if you can. But I like the idea of the dropper, so if I just squeeze that right in the bottle, I mean, it's not really picking up a ton of product either. Like, I've just squeezed that right in there, like I'll show you, like as hard as I could. Yeah, it's really not holding any product whatsoever. So first things first, that's really disappointing. Like, what's the point? Okay, I just pulled it back a little and leaned it and did it. I don't know, I find that disappointing. Like, it should be easier to apply. It's drugstore makeup, like we're not pros, let's be honest. I'm just gonna go ahead and put 2 dots where I would like to highlight on my cheek, and I'm going to do a little dot on my nose, just very little because it's blue, and do a little bit here. Okay, well that didn't really work out. So it comes out really quickly. Please be careful. I definitely have it down my shirt now. No big deal, it's only Armani. I did get a good discount. I used to work for the brand, so that's why. A little bit on my chin, a little bit on the cheek at the other side. That's definitely less product that's on that side than this side, but I'm pretty sure I can even it out. And I always put a little bit of highlight on my Cupid's bow. I don't rate this applicator. What is that smell? I don't really love the smell either. Altogether though, like this payoff, like you can see the colour looks really strong already, and I like that. So just like as a balancing point, because I feel like everything else I've said is negative and I don't want to be a negative Nelly. Where is that gone? Like, I can see it in person, but you can't see it on the camera at all. I'm really just blending it so gently. Okay, so that, I mean, this is always the issue that I have, is like when it's liquid, I feel like it's lifting a bit of the foundation underneath, which I really don't want it to do. It looks better on camera than I feel like it looks in person, because you can just see like a blue sheen and then almost like an arch where it stops. I also kind of feel like this is drying a little, which of course you do want it to do, but maybe it would be better if you do really like the payoff of this and the colour and, you know, want it to lift your makeup slightly. It might be better if you apply like section by section rather than doing what I did, which is like apply it to everywhere. Like, do it as you're going to blend it. I don't think it needs time to like settle like some others do for you to blend them. I don't hate it. I'm not in love. I really wish that I could show you what the effect is like in person, because I don't think that it's really translating. But it's like supremely like, oh there, so that's a bit more, you sort of see the blue sheen, and the sheen on my top. That's actually so annoying. It's down my floor as well. I'm just gonna choose a lip color to go with this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Shiseido lipstick. It's one of their powder range and it's in 516, which is exotic red. But before I apply that, I'm just going to show you this. So this is what's happened on my beauty blender. It's actually like a flake of this, which, I mean, that's so strange to me. I've never seen highlighter do that. Like, I've got liquid highlighters. It's almost like when you've got a shimmer and you try and pack it and you accidentally drag and you make it like that metallic-y finish. That's what it's kind of doing, which is just gross, to be honest. Like, who wants like frosty highlighter? So it's really highlighted my pores. Like, I looked at it close up, like in my little mirror, and like seriously, like all the areas that the poreless or pore reducing primer had hidden and had then been like jewel covered by this wonderful Camouflage foundation, I feel like the work's just been undone, and it's like, I feel like it looks worse than it normally does. Like, it's added pores almost. Which is so strange. So I think it wouldn't have mattered what colour it was. Like, I'm almost glad that I don't love the colour, because now I'm not sad that I can't use it. I guess drugstore makeup can't replace all of like the upper brand stuff, but for the foundation and the primer, like, I really loved it. I'm just going to put this lipstick on now. So the thing that I like about this particular line, and I have already used this, but it comes with such a sharp edge, so it makes it really easy to draw on. So that was already pretty sharp. A little tip, I don't always use lip liner. I know that it's like recommended, but I don't. If you are using lip liner, don't do the liner first, do it second. It just means that you have like the sharper edge and finish, and you don't need to go around with the concealer, which can be quite difficult to do. I find that if I try and go around with the concealer, I end up catching an edge, and then you get like a little bit of the colour in the brush and you smudge it, and it's just a whole riot and mess that you don't need. So just do your liner second and it takes that away. So that is the finished look with the products today. So coverage for the foundation was amazing, the primer was amazing, 100% recommend, would say to go ahead and get those online. And I found that the colour was a good match across from the other colours I normally use. So I am generally porcelain, alabaster or ivory. It varies from brand to brand. I do have a bit of colour. At the moment, this is me with the tan. So I'm currently an ivory shade, so that would be an F2. But I hope this helps someone. If you like the content, please hit subscribe below. And if you've got any comments, questions, feedback, you can always leave a comment below or link me on any of the media that I have below. Thank you very much for watching.